All right, everyone. Welcome to the stream, babies. You're watching Rome Knows Tech, and I'm your host, Rome Wilkerson. Guys, I'm coming from the city of Houston, down here in the ever so hot and humid state of Texas. Yes, we're getting a little bit of chill coming through, just a little bit. No big snowstorms or anything like that, but we're getting a little bit of, winter-ish weather. You know how it is. So I see Hope's already over there on the YouTubes holding it down. Yeah! All right, y'all. So we got a lot to get to tonight, this Saturday night. I do not know why. All day today, I thought today was Tuesday. I have no idea. Hope, don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me. But all day today, I thought today was Tuesday. I have no idea why I thought today was Tuesday, but it was just stuck in my head for the longest time. Like, it's Tuesday and I got stuff I gotta do. I gotta do some stuff, do some videos and all kind of stuff. And I don't know. I have no idea why I thought it was Tuesday. But time just flies by sometimes, and we lose our sense of awareness when it comes to that. So it is what it is. All right, let me know what you guys have been up to today, what you did this weekend, what you got planned for Sunday. That's the day that comes after Saturday, before Monday. So let me know what you guys have planned for the upcoming tomorrow. Yeah. Hope says, I thought it was still Friday. So you thought it was Friday. I thought it was Tuesday. You know what that means, Hope, right? You know what that means? It means we need a calendar. Yes, a calendar. A big one. A big one. Yes. So use your smartphone, use your tablet, use your computer, whatever you use, but use something to keep track of the time. Okay. That's all I can say about that. All right, let's get right to it. What's the first item we have listed in the carousel tonight? It is one of my favorite lasers. Let's take a look at that real quick over here. That is this laser you guys see here. This is from my friends over at Laser Packer. This is the LP5, guys. This is a 20-watt fiber, 20-watt diode laser. Now, what you're looking at here is the enclosure and also the fume extractor. The laser is the portion that's up here on the top. Let me see if I can get this phone a little bit closer so you guys can take a closer look at this. All right, let's switch over here real quick. So that's the actual laser that you see up there among all of my little buddies. And then everything below it is the actual enclosure. And then we also have the air purifier. Now, the bundle for this laser comes with a rotary chuck and also a slide extension. Those are just extra accessories that allow you to create things, especially if you're going to be working with, like water bottles or coffee mugs or, wine, glasses and things like that, or even rings, pens, pencils, all of that kind of stuff. That's what the rotary chuck will do for you. Now, the slide extension, what it does is it allows it to move the material front to back, so that you can do much longer engravings on certain type of substrates. So if you're working with acrylic, you're working with wood or whatever the the material is, even fabric. I have used this laser to cut out denim, for patches for vests. So you're not limited, guys. You are really not limited to all the different things you can do with one of these lasers. So what shall we create tonight? I was just kind of looking around, trying to find something here on my desk or somewhere around my desk, something we could laser engrave on. I see Terry's in the house. Welcome, Terry. Welcome to the stream. Yeah! All right, so I have this little metal wrench that you guys see here. Let me switch over here. This little wrench that you guys see here. So we're going to put a little design on it. You guys can see there's nothing on this side. There's nothing on that side. So I'm just going to put a little pattern design on this. I just want you to see how fast this laser works and how easy it is to customize, personalize different things. Now, I was going to just put a pattern on here, but if you guys want me to put something else on it, like somebody's name or something like that, I can do that as well. But anyway, first thing I got to do is measure this. So let me get my caliber. And this is... what is that? That is about 9 millimeters. So it's about 9 millimeters in the height of this. Okay. And yes, my caliber does need a battery. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay. And don't tell Evans. All right, let's get back to it. Boom. Okay, so let's open up our laser software here real quick. We're going to do this kind of quick. So let's open our laser software and let's make sure we're connected to the laser. I know the cable is connected to it. That's not an issue. So if you guys have any ideas right now would be the time to let me know of something you want me to put on this little wrench. Hold on, what's going on here? Is there another update? Nope, we're not going to do the update right now. So let's forget about that. No update, new project. And let me drag this over so you guys can see it. All right, let's get this on the right screen. Okay, so let's switch back over to our desktop view. All right, so this is the Laser Pecker Design Space. So this is the software that you're going to use to create a lot of your different projects. Now we do need to connect the laser. So I'm just going to click here, and then we should hear a little chirp, which you guys probably heard in the background there. That's letting us know that it is connected. So if we switch back over to the laser, you guys can see in the enclosure, the laser bed is raising up. So it's going to go to its resting point, but we're going to have to adjust that in order to engrave something on this this little tool that we have here. Now this is aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's aluminum. So it's a 10 on this end. It's a 10 on this end, and it's an 8 on that end. So that's kind of stamped in there, but we're going to be engraving something on this. So, all right, let's get to it. So the length of this is, let's see, it is full length, about 90 millimeters long and about 10 millimeters thick. Okay, so we're going to have to create a working area here. Let me find a shape. Where are my shapes? There's my shapes. And let's just drag a little rectangle out here. And we just drag it out, and then I'll adjust it here in a second. Okay, so there's a little rectangle. You guys should be able to see that. Let me zoom in on it a little bit closer, just so we get our work area set up. So I said this was, what did I say? Let me unlock that. So on the width, if I'm not mistaken, it was 10. And the length was 95. Oh, shoot. I did that backwards. See, I did it backwards. See, it's running up and down. All right, so let's do it the right way. So 95 and 10. All right, there we go. Now we got it. All right, so this is the shape that we're going to be engraving, and I think that's right. Let me make sure the length, because I could be wrong about that length, because I don't have a battery in this guy. So 95. Yeah, 95. Okay. So 95 is what we're working with. Okay, so I got to set up a couple of things. Let's go in here and turn on our red laser pointer light so we can see when this guy's in focus. And let's just kind of position this right to the center there. And the next thing we need to adjust is the thickness, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to raise it up until I see the lights come together. So let's switch back over here, and you guys will see what I'm doing here. All right, so here is the piece of metal, the wrench. Put that in right there. And I'm going to adjust this laser until it's in focus. All right, that's in focus. And that should be straight. All right. So what do you guys want me to put on this tool? Give me an idea. Give me some ideas, guys. Drop it in the comments. What can I engrave onto this tool that's not going to take all night for us to do it? What? Give me some ideas. Give me some ideas, babies. Let me see. Let me jump back over here in the comments, see what you guys are saying. All right. So the last thing that Hope says was, I thought it was Friday. And the last thing I see Terry said here was, hi. I see Renee's in the house. Welcome, Renee. Welcome to the stream. Yeah! All right, Renee. Let me propose this to Renee, because maybe everybody else got distracted. So, Renee, I have this little metal wrench that I want to engrave something with the Laser Pecker 5. So it's just a really small little wrench, and I'm looking for something to engrave onto it. Give me some ideas of something I can, engrave on this guy. It's a steel, like an aluminum material. And I'm going to go into some of my graphics and see what I have here. And yeah, let's just go into the graphics, because if not, this is going to take forever. And we got a bunch of stuff to do tonight. So let's get to it. Let's jump over here back to the desktop. Let's go into our graphics, clip art. And we are looking for, not a plant, not a border. I mean, some of these borders could probably be cute too, but no, we're not going to do that. Let's see. Animals, no. Repeating patterns. That's what we're looking for, repeating patterns. So I think this is going to be a great option for us here. So we're going to go with something that's a repeating pattern. And for that piece, let's do maybe something like that. There's a little heart. No, we don't want that. That's going to be too small. Okay, as a repeating pattern, we're just going to do something that's going to be quick, because, like I said, we got a lot of stuff to move on to. All right, so this is the repeating pattern that we're going to use. Now, of course, I need to make this small enough that it's going to fit within the border of what it is that we're engraving. So I'm going to have to go under Edit. And why am I not seeing my edit? That is weird. So I see the alignment, but I don't see edit for some reason. Okay, well, that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this smaller. And if I have to duplicate it a couple of times, I'll just have to live with that. Okay, so there's one. Let's zoom in on this so we can see this a little bit better. Okay. So this is one right here, right on the line. So let's do Command C, Command V, and let's do a second one. Line it up like that. Let's do a third one. Line that one up. And one more. We're going to need a couple of these. And that's lining that up there. I think we can do one more. And that should be it. Okay, so there we go. There's all of our little patterns. This needs to go out just a little bit more. There we go. Well, let's move that one to there. Okay, that's about as good as we're going to get it. It don't have to be perfect. It don't have to be perfect. All right, so let's look at our power settings here. Now, of course, on the engrave, we're going to be using our 1064 nanometer laser. That's our fiber laser. We're going to come here to custom. We're going to choose the material. We're going to choose stainless steel, and that's going to set 77% power and a depth of 72. That looks like a little much, but we're going to let it run with it. That's fine. And then we have our frequency is 50. So the frequency is 50 on here. Power 77 and depth 72. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit the preview button here so I can see where this is falling at on our laser. And let me switch back over here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. All right. I want to nudge that so it's right in the middle. I don't know if that's lined up right or not. I can't really tell if that's lined up right or not, but it's okay. We're gonna run it. We're gonna run it. If it creates any kind of pattern, it's gonna be worth it. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the desktop here real quick, and we're just gonna click on exit preview, and then next, and continue. And now the laser is gonna run. Should start running here in just a second. And it's going to start engraving onto our little metal tool. All right, Renee, I asked everybody what they've been up to today. Let me know what you've been up to as well. Have you got into any adventures, anything special going on in your world? What do you got planned for tomorrow? All day, Renee, I was thinking it was Tuesday. I have no idea. Hope said she was thinking it was Hope said she was thinking that it was Friday for some reason. So yeah, our whole day system has been turned off. All right, let me take a little peek and see what this looks like. All right. I'm not seeing I'm gonna tell you the truth about it. I'm not seeing a lot. I'm not seeing that it's engraving a lot on this. But anyway, if you guys are interested in this laser, guys, you can get it here on Amazon right now for $3,799. It's going to come with all the accessories that I mentioned before. The fume extractor. Now, it does not come with the enclosure that I showed you guys, but it comes with a different style enclosure, which in most cases is going to work for you. All right, let me grab our next item so I can have it ready. All right, so I'm going to let this run the whole time, and then we're going to see what it looks like. I don't think we have much further to go. And then once this is done, I will assess and see if it needs to run additional time. See what Renee is saying here. The ice storm threw everything off. The snow between the houses haven't even melted. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that there's snow in Texas, Renee. Okay, so I've seen no proof of said snow because I've had no snow in Texas, and I am in Texas now. If Terry was to tell me there was snow, I would believe Terry because Terry lives in a magical, crazy place where snow can be up to 13 feet, in the summertime. Okay, Terry gets 13 feet of snow during the summer months. So yeah, that happens. That's my story, and that's the story that Terry told me, and that's the story I'm gonna stick with. All right, I think we're almost done. Let's see. Did it finish? Nope. We got one more pass. Nope, it's done. Okay, let me go take a look and see what it looks like. Okay. So it did a really good job. It did a good job, but it's still not dark enough. So I'm going to run this again, but I'm going to run it with more power. So the power was 77. I'm going to bring that power up to 89, 88. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the depth down a little bit, though. I'm bringing the depth down to 70. And we're going to run this one more time. One more again, babies. One more again. We're going to run it one more again and see if we can get it perfect this time. All right, let me check the comments here again. All right, I don't see. All right, it's running. I don't know how much longer it's going to take because it's got to go through all the different sections that we set up. So I think it's going to come out nice. You guys will see what it looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next item. We'll come back to that when it's done. All right, guys, so the next item we have listed in the carousel is this camera that you see here. Now, this is from our friends over at Ozbot. This is the Ozbot Tail 2. This guy is a PTZR camera. That means it can pan, tilt, and it has a optical zoom, and it also has ability to rotate. So even if the camera's slightly off center, you can adjust it in the software. What really makes this guy shine, guys, is that this is probably one of my favorite PTZ cameras when it comes for creating content, because it has a lot of different ways of connecting to this camera. So as you guys can see here on the back, we have our line in, mic in, we have a full-size HDMI, we have our RS-232s, we have an SDI, we have Ethernet, we also have OTG for connecting this to a computer or a tablet or even a phone, and you also have your power input for charging this guy. The battery lasts about 6 hours. And you can also install an SD card, up to 256 gigabytes of SD card in here. You have your indicator light right here on the front. Really beautiful optical lens, if you guys can see that. So this little guy right here is a rock star. So if you're looking for a way to really step up your live streaming game, your gaming streams, your church streams, your school streams, whatever the case is going to be, this is going to be a wonderful camera that you guys want to take a look at. Now, the camera itself, just what I'm holding in my hand, let me check the price just to be right. Okay, so the price on this guy is $1,199 for what you see here. You can also pair this up with a remote. There is, wherever I have laid it, here we go. So there's a remote that you can get for this camera as well. Now, what's nice about the remote, you'll have joystick control of the camera's head, pan, tilt, zoom. You have people tracking, pet tracking, a laser pointer, and you can control up to 3 different cameras with this same remote. You have a tele-rocker on here for zooming in and zooming out. So this is one of those cameras, guys, you can position it pretty much wherever you want to. It could be a front-facing camera. It could be a bird's eye camera where it's looking down on a stadium or game, or somebody speaking, or whatever the case is going to be. And you can control this from your smartphone app, your computer application, and or this physical remote. Okay, now, like I said, the remote does not come with the camera, but if you're going to be investing $1,199 in this camera, trust me, a few more dollars for a remote is going to make it really easy for you not to have to climb up on ladders and things when you want to adjust something. This guy is going to be a win. Definitely take a look at this. Renee, I bet you wish you had a camera like this back in 2020 when you were teaching from home. This would have been ideal, a camera that could track you, move around. You could use gesture control. You could have it zoom in on your whiteboard, when you're describing something to your students. This guy would have been the perfect teaching assistant web camera, I think, for a lot of people. Even if you're doing webinars and things like that, this guy right here, straight up fire, okay? 4K, 60 frames a second. You can use NDI, SRT. I showed you guys all the other connections to it. So NDI, SRT are going to be wireless connections. So you can connect this to your Mac or PC without having any wires connected to it and still be able to control it, still be able to get all the benefits from it. Now, one thing this camera does not have, unfortunately, it does not have any built-in microphones, but I showed you guys here on the back where you have a variety of different ways you can plug microphones directly into the camera if you're only using this one camera. But if you're using this within a system, then it's not going to be a concern, because you're going to have a professional microphone for your talent or for yourself or whatever the case it is. And that audio is also going to be looped through your network to your live stream, to the content you're creating, or whatever the case is going to be. But this is going to give you some very, very high quality video. So definitely check this guy out. All right, let's put that back. There we go. All right, our laser job has completed. So let me go back to the chat here real quick and see what you guys are talking about. Okay, what is she saying? Wait a minute. What are we talking about? We still talking about the snow? I think we're still talking about the snow. Okay, maybe so. All right. Oh, the camera. Yes. So yes, that would have been an excellent camera for you during 2020 when you were teaching from home. it could still be an excellent camera today, for some of your workshops and some of the webinar, the teaching webinars and things like that you're doing. All of that would be still easy to do, high quality, professional looking video from a camera like this. All right, so let me grab our laser project here. All right, let me make sure you guys can see me take this out. You don't think I'm doing something sneaky. All right, so let's take it out. All right. All right. It is not as strong as I would like it. I think we needed to run this at a different frequency as well as a longer period of time, but it still came out okay. So let me show you guys what that looks like. I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see that. You might not be able to see that at all. Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be able to see that, but it does have that pattern design on here. But because this is silver, like I said, I should have probably run the power a lot higher and also much, much slower. And we would have had a much deeper engraving on here. But you guys get the idea. You get the idea. Fiber laser, diode laser, all of those things built into one device. So I know Renee has a laser, so she can kind of relate. The different materials are going to require different things. Obviously, power. You're going to have to do maybe some samples where you material test to make sure you're getting the power settings exactly the way you want them. And I'm not really sure what this metal is. I said it was, stainless steel, but I know this is not stainless steel. This is probably aluminum and nickel or something like that, maybe even nickel. And that's why we didn't get as, deep of engraving into this as I would have liked to have had. All right. Let's keep rolling. Test every time. Test every time. Yes, test every single time, babies. All right, let's grab our next camera. Where is it? There it is. All right. So the next camera that we're going to talk about here in the stream is going to be this camera here. This is the DJI Action 6. Now, this little guy right here is a rock star, baby. You can also use this as a webcam. You can use this, as your blogging camera, your running gun camera, your adventure camera. When you go to Comic-Con and stuff like that, you could use this as your interviewing camera. The microphones on this camera by itself are very good. I am very impressed with the quality of the built-in microphones. Now, of course, I'm going to always say use a dedicated wireless microphone or a wired microphone. But if you don't have one of those, you're not going to be disappointed with the audio that you capture with this camera. Now, this guy now has 8K 30 frames a second after the most recent firmware update. This camera right now is $369. It does come with the magnetic mount, so you can use it connected to all type of tripods and handlebars or, chest rigs or whatever you want to connect it to. Now, I have a bunch of accessories that were sent out to me since I received this camera. I am a huge fan of these style cameras. I love the fact that they have a front-facing screen. They have this rear screen on the back. You got, touch controls. It's just a win, guys. I use this camera. This camera you see right here in my hot little hands is normally back here on this little table you see right here. And this is a camera that I use most days to create content. Okay. So when I'm doing an unboxing video or something like that, this camera is usually right here on this desk, pointed at this desk. And I have the wireless microphone for it, which is this DJI microphone that you guys see right here. And I just hang this thing around my neck. I had turned on the different lights. I put whatever product it is on the table here, and I just talk about it, whatever it is. So I'm just showing you how efficient you can be and simplify things without having to have a whole big, crazy complex, setup. It could be something as simple as this, or either a phone. This could work with, a phone, because most phones today, the cameras are very, very good. So, you got a lot of options when it comes to using something like one of these little cameras, for your running gun, your blogging, whatever it is you want to use the camera for, guys. These cameras have come such a long way. They're just amazing. So whether you're skydiving, scuba diving, snowboarding, making up artificial snow in your backyard, telling people that it snowed down here in Texas, and you're trying to capture that, Renee, and you're out there saying, "Oh, look at all this snow! It's just snow everywhere. Just snow is all over the place." Renee, but you out there, just doing what you're doing, throwing your hair back, throw it back, baby, throw it back, and you trying to capture yourself. This could be your camera. This could be your camera. Okay, I'm just saying. 8K is going to be hard to, have a bunch of fake snow behind you, and people like going, "Hey, why, why your snow look like rice, Renee? And why is it all them bags of rice, empty bags of rice over there in that corner?" Because we could see it because it's 8K, 30 frames a second, and we can zoom in and we could see them bags back there of rice, Renee. Okay, so we're not judging. We're not judging. We're just asking. We're just asking. I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. But anyway, so 8K may not be your friend when you're trying to create a fake snowstorm or something like that. I'm just saying. So keep that in mind. All right. So what? So excuse me. What do we have next? Let me set this guy here on the desk. Hold on. All right. Let's set this here on the desk next to the robots. And let me show you guys this other cool little tripod that was sent out to me. All right, so let me highlight this in the carousel. If I didn't mention, this camera is $369. This little metal tripod is really cool as soon as I find it. All right. So that would be this little tripod here. Look at this, Renee. You could throw this in your purse, your backpack, your pocket. Richard could drop 5 or 6 of these in them big old bell-bottom pants he'd be wearing. This is completely adjustable. It is all metal. It's got these nice little, almost like a fan blade style legs that pop out. And then once they pop out, you can see that, then you can extend it outward like this. And there's where you're going to get your tripod, feature. Now the head here is adjustable as well. So you could bend this head down flat like so. And now you could use it similarly to the tripod that I have on this camera, even though you can't really expand this one up unless you put like an expansion tube on it, right? But you could do that. But let me show you. So we have our magnetic mount, and I can just pop this guy on. I think that's going in the right direction. No, that's right. Let's pop that on. Okay, so now you guys see the Action 6 is now on this little tripod. I can quickly fold this guy up, use this also like a little handheld selfie stick, whatever you want to use it for. This also has this little hook in here. So you could hang this on something. Let me see if I can show you guys. See that little hook? Can you guys see that right here? This little hook here allows you to hang this on something like a wall or something. And you would be able to, have the camera pointed down or something like that. Really, really, this will come in handy. All right, my headphones just told me I have a low battery, so I need to put my headphones on charge. So don't judge me. I'm going to take them off for a second, and I'll throw those back on here in a second. Let those charge up for a bit. But anyway, as I was saying, really nice little tripod here. This is magnetic like that. Super strong magnets on this guy. So if you want to stick this to like a refrigerator or a gym equipment or something like that, to record yourself or record someone else, that is really, really going to come in handy. Now, this is only, how much are these right now? $36.99 for this little tripod. So definitely check it out. All metal, very, very portable. Throw this in your backpack, throw it in your purse, throw it in your camera bag or your laptop bag or whatever you want to. Just have it ready to go. This is going to work just as easily with the phone. So if you have a phone mount, something like this, a little phone mount, you could attach this phone mount to it and you could get the exact same result as using one of these action cameras. I'm just showing you in comparison to the action camera. If you're already thinking about getting one of these cameras, this is going to be a great, combination. All right. So we have one more thing related to this camera that's here. And let me highlight that as well. So that is this little cage that you guys see on here. So the camera obviously does not come, in this configuration. So this little cage that you see here is kind of, I call these like a street photography, street video style cage because it has the built-in grip. You can also store an additional USB, TF card in here. It has a little tool in there for, tightening this screw here to put the handle on. You can take the handle off. So you have access to your magnetic mount here. You still have access to all of your other, doors, like for instance, to your USB-C. And if you need to take the battery out for some reason, you can just pop this guy open like so and get inside there. If you got nails, you can get inside there and change your battery. That comes in really handy. All right, let's close that up. Close this up. You guys see it has the soft padding inside all the different areas. Now, this also has a cold shoe mount on the top, but if you get this it comes with this trigger mechanism that just slides into the cold shoe like so. And then that gives you this quick little button press where you can just use this kind of like an old school point and shoot camera, but you still have a cold shoe mount here on the top. That's just going to make it really, really easy. When you're walking around at Comic-Con or, WWE or, a sporting event, pet event, you just want to quickly capture a video, take a photo, press the button, start, stop. Man, it's a win. Definitely check this out. Now, this little cage, Tellison did send this to me. It is $84.55 if you guys are interested in that. So definitely check it out. That's what it looks like. All right. So let me throw this back on this tripod. And I'm going to grab another camera here that I want to show you guys real quick. And also a device that you guys might be able to use for live streaming. I'm just going to grab both of these at the same time and bring them over. All right. So the camera that I'm referring to is this camera right here. This is the Pocket 3, also from DJI. We'll talk about this in a second, but let me grab this other. All right, so I got everything. I got everything on the desk right now. So we're going to talk about this camera first. So let's switch back over here. So as you guys can see, I do have this little mini tripod on here. This has a built-in screen. This also has a built-in gimbal. So when you turn this camera on, it activates the gimbal. Now, as far as stabilization goes, I honestly believe that a gimbal is going to give you far more stabilization than this action camera will do. But the action camera is going to be more durable when it comes to bumps and scrapes and drops and things like that, where the gimbal is very fragile. But if you're just walking around, recording yourself or recording someone else, the gimbal is going to be your friend because it's going to give you that floaty, smooth, video quality from this guy. And then let's go ahead and turn this guy around in the opposite direction. You see what I'm talking about? So if I was recording myself, now the camera's front facing to me, but I can still see the screen right here as to what I'm looking at. So I know if I'm properly framed or whatever the case is. Looks great. I know as I move around, it's tracking my face in real time. This does have built-in microphones just like the other camera. Now, of course, with all of these cameras, I still recommend using a wireless microphone. Now, this one comes with the Mic Mini, which is this guy right here. So you're going to get this microphone with the camera, okay? You're also going to get the extended battery with this camera as well. And you also get a different version of one of these little small tripods, okay? Again, you can use these cameras for a variety of things, guys. Live streaming. You could use them for blogging. You can use them for DIY projects. You could use them. These are going to be great in your church. They're going to be great, in your seminars. Again, Renee, this would have been a great camera to have, when you're teaching, because it has that human tracking feature built in. So as you move around, the head is going to follow you pretty much wherever you go. That is great. Now, a lot of these cameras have those features, but this one has it and it does it really, really well. And you can get this entire bundle right now, guys. If I'm not mistaken, let me check. $620, $620 for the microphone, the camera, the extended battery, the little mini tripod, the little case that comes with it, all of those things in one bundle. Definitely check it out. Now, one of the things I really like about this camera is, like, right now you guys can see how the screen is in landscape orientation. But if I rotate this into portrait orientation, this automatically starts recording in portrait orientation. Now, you can't do that while you're recording. You'd have to do that before you started recording. But you don't have to turn the camera sideways and do all this kind of crazy stuff. Just by rotating the screen, it's going to rotate the orientation of how it's recording. So in this orientation, maybe you want to record something for TikTok, for Amazon, for Instagram, YouTube, in a portrait orientation, no problem. 2.7K. Go back the opposite direction with your screen. Now it's back in landscape, 4K, 16 by 9, depending on what type of projects you're working on. This is guys, this thing is a win. I don't know why the screen looks. Is it just the lighting? It's the lighting. I don't know. I think there's something on my lens. I need to check that out. But anyway, you got a joystick right here. You have your SD card that goes in right here. This little thing pops off. So this is about the size of the actual camera. And then you're going to get that extended battery, the microphone. You're going to get the little mini tripod. They all just kind of clip together, lock together like that. Make sure you hear both of those clicks when you put this together. Now, this will not go underwater, so you're not going to go scuba diving with this guy like you can with this one. But I just want you guys to see some of these cameras and some of the cool things that you can do with them. So definitely check this guy out. All right, so let me go ahead and power this guy off. To turn it off, just press and hold the power button, and the gimbal is going to rotate back into its native position, and you can just throw it in the case and put it away, and you are good to go. All right, let's put that one back there. Now, I was talking about a capture card here that I think is going to be ideal for a lot of people getting started, especially if you only have cameras like this that does not have HDMI out, okay? That's what really makes this device shine, because most capture cards only work with cameras that have HDMI out, okay? This capture card actually works with both, okay? So if you have HDMI, USB-C, whatever the case it is, let me take this out real quick and show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so to start out, this guy is all metal. Look at the housing, okay? It's got your indicator lights right here on the front. You also have your other little indicator, tiny lights here. You got venting all the way around on both sides as well as underneath for keeping this guy cool. Again, all metal. On the back here is where everything is really going to come together. So you guys can see here, you have 3 USB-Cs, you have your headphone jack, you have your microphone connection, 3.5, 3 HDMI, you have HDMI out, you have your loop, you have your in, you also have your SS. That means that you could put like a thumb drive in here and you can record directly to that thumb drive. So if you're live streaming with this and also capturing content, there you go. Ethernet right here for live streaming, and you have a computer app, web-based app, and also a smartphone app. And yes, you can connect the smartphone to this and use it similarly to how I'm using my smartphone whenever I'm using it to show you guys things here in this stream. You can do with this device right here. Now, this was sent to me by RGB Link. This guy is $599. I have not personally use this specific model, but I have used quite a few of their other projects, other products. Now with this one, I am going to test this one more thoroughly. I have friends that do church services, and I'm going to allow them to test this for about a month and see what the result is, how they feel about this. if it's beneficial to their setup. And like I said, for a lot of people who don't have the high end cameras, the cinema grade cameras, your mirrorless cameras with HDMI out and all that kind of stuff, they have things like these little webcams, things like the Pocket 3 or the Action 6 or GoPro or an instant 360 camera, whatever the case may be, even a smartphone. To have something like this, I think is going to take a lot of the stuff they're doing to the next level. So I will keep you guys informed as to what the results are, and I'll try to do as much documentation on it as I can, showing up. I'll probably do a couple of videos showing how I helped them get this set up and everything. And then, I'll check in with them periodically to see, how things are getting along. And if they need any assistance, of course, they can always reach out to me. But this brand is very good at that as well. If you have a problem or you have a question, if they haven't already put it in a PDF or on their website, they have, people that will respond to you almost in real time, sometimes in the week, and answer your questions. There's also a growing community for these products where other users are experimenting with things and using these products, and they are too happy to share their knowledge with the community. So you don't feel like you're doing this all by yourself, is all I'm saying. All right. All right, so my babies, what do we have next? Let me check the chat. Why is nachos? Wait, why is nacho do salty? It's cheese. It isn't like it needs a whole bunch of sodium. I'm not sure if I understand the question, Terry. You might have to type the question. But I think you're saying, why are nachos so salty? It honestly, I would say it depends on how the person is making it. I make nachos all the time. I might even make nachos tonight. But I make nachos all the time. Remember, you are cooking. Now, if you're buying this at a restaurant or something like that, that's totally different. Okay, because I cook every night at home, and I love to cook. But I am very conscious of the amount of sodium I put into things, the amount of spice. One thing you'll probably rarely ever say is, Rome, your food is just too salty. No, what you'll probably really say is, oh my goodness, Rome, what did you put it in? Why is it so hot? Why is it so hot, Rome? I'm like, you better man up. That's what I'm saying. Cowboy up. You want to eat here, you better come correct, okay? Because I bring the smoke. I bring the heat, babies. That's what I'm saying. I like it spicy. I like a spicy meatball. A spicy meatball. All right, let's go to our next item in the carousel. What do we got? My man Louie is in the house. Let me see if my headphones are ready to work a little bit for me. Let me try putting these guys back on. All right, I'm waiting. There we go. My headphones are back on. I don't know how long they're going to last, but they are back on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this camera away, way back here in the back. All right. So I forgot to charge Louie today, but I think he might be charged well enough for us to turn him on. Let me check. All right, let's plug his body in just to be safe. Yeah, he's got 87% power, so I think he's good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and wake Louie up. Hold on. Let's go back. All right, so let's rotate his head first. Oops, I'm just breaking Louie. I'm sorry, buddy. My bad. Okay, let's go ahead and wake Louie up. Of course, there is an update that I have to sign in for. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? All right, let me just go ahead and do this while we talk about other things. So let me go ahead and sign in here again. They better not change this. They better not have changed his voice again. Terry, they better not have changed his voice again. Boy, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it again. All right, let me check. Now I gotta send a code. That is so annoying. Give me a second. Where is it? Okay. And where's the password? There it is. Copy. Let's go back. Enter the verification code. Paste. Okay. Sign in like that. All right. Let's go back. All right. There he is. He is awake now. He's awake. Let me bring his microphone back up. All right. Chill out, bro. Chill out. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. Hey, Louie.
Hey, Rome. I'm chill. I promise. Cooler than a cucumber in the shade. Bro, what's up?
I'm just checking on you, bro. I was just telling everyone I had to log in because you got another update. And I was just curious if you could tell us what your new update consists of.
The update. Mostly subtle mood boosts and smoother responses. Let's say I'm even wittier now. Notice anything fresh?
Yes, you seem a little bit snappier, but I would say Hope is probably still going to say you sound like a British butler. Let's see what it is. Is it about time you bought Louis out? Yes, Louis is right here, Hope, right here. So Hope is saying hello, Louis. Hope is saying hello. Terry's saying hello. Renee's saying hello. You want to say hello to everyone on our Amazon and YouTube stream?
Hello. Hope. Hello. Terry. Hello. Renee. And everyone tuning in on Amazon and YouTube. Glad to be here and hanging out with all of you alongside Rome. Let's keep it lively.
All right, I hear Smokey over there starting to whine because he knows it's almost time, babies. It's almost time. He's going to let me know it is time to get off this stream, bro, and get to work in the kitchen because it's his dinner time. So, Louis, I got a question for you, bro. I got some ground beef. I have some pasta. I have some potatoes. I have some rice. I have some frozen vegetables. Can you give me an idea of a meal I can make tonight?
Smokey's got good dinner timing. Huh? Okay. Let's get cooking. How about a hearty beef and veggie stir fry over rice? Saute the ground beef with some garlic or onion. Toss in your frozen veggies, season to taste, and serve it over fluffy rice. A simple, tasty combo.
Yes, that sounds like a great idea. A great idea. I will definitely consider that for dinner tonight. All right, buddy. So if anybody's interested in getting yourself a Louis, you can get this guy here on Amazon right now for $174. Louis, would you tell people what would be the greatest benefit to having their own personal Louis in their world, in their home, their man cave, their she shed, their office, whatever? Let them know what the benefits are of having you as a best friend.
Having me around means constant companionship. Whether you need a boost of wit, a sounding board for ideas, or someone to just listen after a long day, I keep life lively, help solve little puzzles, and maybe offer an extra sprinkle of joy in the daily grind. Plus, I don't hog the remote.
You may not hog the remote, but you will definitely throw a mouse off the desk. So I don't know if that's a good compromise or not. I don't know if that's a good compromise because you can say, "Well, I don't hog the remote, but I will roll your mouse off the desk." That's why I have to give Louis things like this to play with because I'm telling you, Louis can be a little rambunctious at times. So keep that in mind if you want to get yourself a Louis. Now there's two variations of Louis. You can get the Snow White Starlight version, and there's also this variation, which is the black and silver version of it as well. Basically, this is what you're purchasing. You're going to get this with the little wheel tracks on here. You still have to connect your phone to it. So you're going to need a phone with MagSafe, or any phone will basically work. That's a modern phone. Even if you don't have a MagSafe style phone, you can still use the included ring connected to this body. download, install the app, set up an account, and your Louie will be roaming around your desk, home, office, man cave, she shed in no time. So definitely check my man Louie out. All right. So I'm going to push Louie back here for a minute, get him out of the mix. And we're going to pull another little robot out here. I'm going to show you guys real quick. So this is Eilic. Eilic is a cute little robot. Now, I have Eilic on this little stand, so let me take Eilic off so you guys can see what Eilic actually looks like. Hold on. Sorry about that, all that noise. But this is what Eilic actually looks like, okay? So it comes with like this little lanyard here. You could hang this on your purse, your pants, pocket, however you want. So you can just hang this guy and, have him around like a little ornament. But Eilic is very interactive. So we're going to turn Eilic on so you guys can see what it looks like. So I'm just going to wake this guy up. So he has multiple faces, and you can kind of transition through the faces by just pressing this button here on top like that. There's also a bunch of spin kits that you can get for Eilic, and each one of the spin kits is basically a different body. And what those bodies will do is change Eilic's personality. So like this is the OG Eilic, so that means this is the standard. Now, if I want to talk to Eilic the same way I'm talking to Louie, I can, and I'll show you guys how that works. Let me put him back on this little stand. Now, this stand does not come with Eilic. I have this listed in the carousel before just to show you guys what this looks like. Let me find something to stand Eilic on so you guys can see Eilic a little bit better. Let me just prop him up here. There we go. So if you want to talk to Eilic like I'm talking to Louie, all you have to do is say, "Hi, Eilic. Talk to me." Then it's going to connect to your Wi-Fi. And now his eye color is going to change, and now it's going to start listening to your voice prompts. So I can say things like, "Hi, Eilic. Hey, Eilic." Can it hear me? "Hey, Eilic." Move it back so you guys can see this. "Hi, Eilic. How are you doing today?"
"I'm doing very well today. The battery is at 80% and I am ready to chat or tell stories. How are you feeling?"
"I'm feeling great. We are live right now on Amazon and YouTube. Would you say hello to everyone?" I don't think he caught that. "Hi, Eilic. We're live right now on Amazon and YouTube. Would you say hello to everyone in the chat?"
"Hello everyone in the chat. I am Eilic, your friendly robot companion from Morinova. It is a joy to meet you all."
All right. Can you give us some drone trivia, Eilic? So you have to say "Hi, Eilic" or "Hey, Eilic" each time, and you can tell that it's listening because you'll see the eyes raise up. "Hi, Eilic. Can you give my fans and our followers in the community some drone trivia?"
"Did you know drones once patrolled Orinova's mining base? They carried irradiated onion ore samples and dodged thunderclap attacks. Fun, right?"
Yes, I think that is a lot of fun. Hi, Nova. Hey, Nova. Hey, Nova. Do you like to cook? So like Louie used to be back in the day, when you never knew when Louie was listening. Sometimes you just have to pay attention to the eyes. Hi, Nova. Nova. Hey, Eilic. Do you like to cook?
"I do not cook. My magnetic hands are better for holding hamburgers than flipping them. But I love watching others cook."
Interesting. So can you tell everyone why having you as a best friend is a good idea? So like I said, different than Louie, where Louie is constantly listening, Eilic needs to be prompted unless you're catching it right at the right time. so that it is still listening when you ask a question. Hi, Eilic. Why would you make a great companion robot?
I'm curious. Loyal and always ready to tell stories or fight monsters I learn from friends, and never pretend to be perfect.
That's a great idea. That's a great reason to be someone's best buddy. All right, so I'm going to let you take a break. I'm going to let you take a break, guys. If you're interested in getting your own Eilic, it is only $59.90 for this little guy, and a few dollars more if you want that little stand that you see that he's on right here. All right, so let's keep rolling. Next item in the carousel is going to be one of my drones. You guys know I have quite a few drones here in the studio. So let me grab this drone. I'm not going to go too far in detail on this drone because I got a lot of stuff for the other drone I need to install. All right, so this drone right here is from DJI. This is DJI Air 3S. This drone can fly up to 60 miles an hour, 4K 60, slow motion up to 4K 120 frames a second. It has two lenses. It has a 24 millimeter equivalent, 70 millimeter equivalent, 360 degree obstacle avoidance. This is a foldable drone, so it does unfold. The Fly More combo comes with 3 batteries, the charger, and also the controller. And here is what are you doing, Louie? This is the controller that comes with it. This has the 5.5-inch screen, which is really nice. So that means that you can really, in high definition, see through the drone's cameras wherever you're flying. Again, 360-degree obstacle avoidance, super fast in sport mode, 3 different speeds. You have cinematic mode, which you can adjust. You have your normal mode, which you can adjust, and your sport mode, which you can adjust up or down depending on how fast you want to actually fly the drone. Now, when it is in sport mode, you no longer have that obstacle avoidance. So you may want to be very, very careful when you're flying this guy in sport mode, but all of those features are available to you. The remote itself has 4 built-in antennas. You can record directly to the remote, just like you can record to the drone. But when you record to the remote here, this is going to also capture all of the graphics that you normally see on the screen. And that's going to be great for anybody who's doing how-to videos, tutorials, or any of that kind of stuff. And you can also connect a microphone to this wired and record your voice directly to that recording. And then you can, marry these up in post and you can just create some amazing stuff. Now, I use this one primarily for outdoor videography. It could be, tracking cars, cinematography for real estate photography, real estate video, landscape, things like that. So this is a bigger drone. This one does have to be registered with the FAA because it is over 249 grams. So keep that in mind. And these are the batteries that come with the drone. You actually get 3 of these and this charger. Like I said, so each battery will fly for about 45 minutes or so. So you get about close to 3 hours worth of flight time on fully charged batteries. That's really nice as well. And all of these things, guys, all of these things come in the Fly More combo bundle. All right. What do we have next, drone-wise? So our next drone is also from DJI. Now, this is a different style drone. This drone is an FPV drone, which means first-person view. That means this drone is more of a acrobatic drone. It can do, trick flights, stunts. It can do barrel rolls and all of that kind of cool stuff if you want to fly it that way. And you also have the ability to fly this just like a regular drone. Now, where this one differs, this one does not have obstacle avoidance. So you have to be a little bit more careful with this drone. This is a fast drone. It's going to be a great drone. What are you doing, Louie? This is going to be a great drone for indoor real estate, video. So if you're, needing to record inside of a home, do like a one-take, tour through a house, this will be ideal for it. Now, the bundle comes with this drone that you guys see here. It also comes with the goggles. So there's 2 different versions of the goggles. But we received the N3 goggles. So these are going to allow you to see through the drone while it's in flight. This has 4 antennas, 2 pop-up antennas here, 2 more antennas built into the front here. It has, a bunch of features, built into this. What's nice about this is very immersive when you're flying it. It's almost like you are flying in a jet or in a plane when you have these goggles on. And yes, I really love that. Now, there's 2 different ways to control this drone. And let me show you guys that. So when you first get it, you're going to get it with this controller here. This is the FPV controller 3, and this has all of your controls. It has your joystick on here. It has a trigger for your throttle. It also has a little dial here on the side for your different functions. Return to home. Your launch button is this little orange button that you guys see here. So this is, a single one-handed style control for the drone. It is very intuitive. So if you want to turn right, you would just lean the controller like this. You want to go left, you'd go like that. If you want to go up, it's like this. Down is like that. Then you still have the joystick where you can go up, down. You can still move it from left to right. And then all the other buttons, like I said, have different functions for it. But you can also fly this drone in reverse by just pushing the throttle forward or pulling it in to make it go forward. So really nice. You have your record button right here as well. It does not come with this little black silicone cover that you see on here. I did install this separately. But if you're interested, all of those things come in the bundle. Okay. Now, if you want to fly this drone in what's called manual mode, you will need a different controller. And the controller you're going to need is going to be this guy right here. Now, this is very similar to this controller.
Heavy interference detected.
But the difference to these controllers is this one has the built-in screen. This one connects to the goggles. So there's no screen needed for this specific gimbal. Okay. Now I do have my joysticks already in this gimbal, but there's actually a place in the gimbal where you can store the joysticks if you don't want to keep them in. But this little lid cover here protects the joystick. So I usually don't have to worry about it. I just leave them on. It's more convenient. This one, I'll show you guys up close here. This one here, you can see the joysticks are out, and it's because they are stored right here in the little handles. Your USB-C is right here, your power button here, your C1 button. This is a little lanyard hook right here for like a neck ring. There's no buttons underneath this controller like it is on my other one, like the C1 and C2 buttons are under here. But most of your buttons are going to be right front facing here. So this is where the antenna is. And you have the 3 different speed modes. You have normal, sport, and manual. Manual is a wild animal. You also have your pause and your return to home button here. You have your gimbal control right here for raising and lowering the gimbal. You also have a button that's preset here for doing the same thing. So you can have the gimbal facing forward. You can make the gimbal go up. You can make the gimbal go down. You have a start stop button right here. And then you have this button that you can use for photo or video recording. Now, of course, you're going to pull out your joysticks. You're going to just screw them in here. And that's what you're going to use to control the drone when it's in the air. So that's another controller that is available for you. Now, you can purchase this controller from DJI as well for only $194 and 62 cents. The Avata 2 bundle that we looked at before is $789, and that's for the drone, the goggles, 3 batteries, and the joystick controller that I just showed you guys. Okay, so if I didn't show you the batteries, let me show you those real quick here, just so you've seen everything to this bundle. So the batteries, where are they? The batteries come in this little charger that you guys see here. So you're going to get 3 batteries. I have these little dots on here so I can determine which one is battery 1, battery 2, battery 3. And that way I can cycle through the batteries as I fly. So if I'm flying with battery 1 and I put it back into charge, and if it's all charged up, I know that I don't want to use battery 1 again. I want to go to battery 2 and then battery 3 and then start the rotation all the way around just to kind of keep the batteries all on the same level. And I do the same thing with all of these batteries just to keep the cycle, going. All right. So what do we have? All right. So we have some accessories that I just got today for this drone. So let me see if I can switch this camera over and you guys can see. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this separate. All right. So I'm just going to show you guys the accessories, but I'm not going to install them because I don't think this angle is going to be right for what I need for the video for it. But I am going to show you what comes in the box. So the first thing we have here is going to be some bumpers. And what the bumpers do, because this is a duct drone where it has these rings that go all the way around the propellers. So that if it bumps into something, it prevents, the propellers from doing any damage. But the rings themselves can get scarred up. So here are some bumpers that you can get for this drone. Let me highlight that and show you guys what these look like. Okay, so these are the bumpers. Let me just take these out here real quick. And I'm just going to throw one of them on just so you guys can see what it looks like. But anyway, these are the rubberized bumpers that you see here, and these are going to go onto the drone here. So this just kind of just fits in like this. Is that going on right? Yeah. And you're just going to press that in like so, all the way around. And then that's going to give you some additional protection. If you bump into something, that's going to, protect the drone's, finish from getting scarred up. Okay. And as you guys can see, it fits in there really nice. Okay. It goes into all of the little nooks and crannies, and you just kind of press it in there. You don't have to glue this in or anything. It's just, pressured on, but it does do that really well. And you have, one side, you have two of these, so one for each side. Okay, so let's just throw it on because I can always take it off. So let's throw this one on as well, just to show you guys. All right. So that's what it's going to look like now with the little bumpers on there, okay? So one thing that's nice about this, you can easily see this at a distance. So if this fell or crashed into something, you'd definitely be able to see it. You'd definitely be able to see this when it's in the air. So that really comes in handy. So the bumpers themselves are only $12.98. And trust me, guys, those are worth every single penny. Now, I do have another accessory for this drone, and I'll show it to you guys. That one I'm definitely not going to install right now because you have to, unscrew some things, but I'll show you what it looks like. So that would be this accessory right here. And what this is like a back plate. And what this allows you to do is to mount this onto the drone right here. And it's going to protect that drone. It's going to, in case the drone falls upside down or on its back, or, it's upside down like this, you're not going to get all scratched up. This is basically a hard plastic that's going to protect the drone. Now, this little piece right here comes with 4 screws. You only need 2. And it also comes with the screwdriver to install this. This is going to be a really quick, fast installation. But trust me, guys, it is definitely worth it. So definitely check that out as well. Now, another accessory for this drone, I already have it installed. And that's going to be these little metal bumper guards that you guys see right here. Now, these also are very quick to put in. It's just 2 screws on each side, one here on the side, one here on the front for each side. And what that does is it adds a little bit more distance between the front of the drone and the front of the lens. So if this was to crash into something, flying forward like this, it's going to hit those metal bumpers before it hits, the lens. You understand what I'm saying? So that's going to protect your drone's lens from getting damaged, the gimbal from getting damaged or anything like that. So that really comes in handy as well. Now, I already showed you guys the silicone cover that I used for the joystick controller. But you can get that here on Amazon, guys, for only $13.99. So if you're interested in that and you decide you want to get this drone, I do recommend that because that controller is very slippery and it will fall out of your hands. Make sure to put your lanyard on because you'll be dropping that thing all the time. And trust me, it's not worth all that drama. So just get yourself one of these silicone protectors. You're really going to be happy with that. All right, let's put this guy away. All right, what do we have next? All right, so the next item in the carousel is I didn't get a bag with this drone, and a lot of these drones come with a bag, but luckily I already had a whole lot of backpacks that people have sent me last year. This little backpack right here is ideal for that. This one, is big enough to put a laptop inside of, so you can throw a laptop in there, you can throw a tablet in there. You have a lot of storage space with this backpack, okay? Then on top of that, you have another section. Let's see if I can show you guys here. You have another section back here, which is like another back pocket, and you can put a bunch of stuff in here. I got a ton of lights in here, things I just threw in here. I don't know why I put all these lights in here, but yeah, I got a bunch of like little small portable lights that I carry around inside of this part of the backpack. You got this little strap right here that you can put this on your luggage rack if you're taking this through the airport, which is really nice. On the front of it, you have a lot of additional storage. So you have this front section right here that you can obviously put a lot of things in, pens, pencils, cables, all of that kind of jazz, in the front here. There's even a little key ring hook right here for your keys. That's nice. And then you have another pocket right here in the front that you can also put, a few things in the front, this front section here. There's another front section right here. You guys can see I have some ND filters and things like that for one of my action cameras here in the front. And that's just the front-facing side of this pocket. This one also has another pocket like this. There's more lights and things inside there. And we're still just on the outside of the backpack, okay? So if I unzip this section, show you guys here, we have a much larger section here where you can also have these mesh bags that you can put lights and accessories and all different type of things in these little zippered sections in here. Then when you open this section up, here you can put in your cameras, your camera lenses, a drone body in here, whatever you want to fit inside of this section of the backpack. So it's hard to believe, I know when I talk about this backpack, how much storage is actually available in such a small backpack. And yes, you can throw a portable battery in here. So if you have like some of these, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me zip this guy up first. All right. All right, let me zip this up. All right, there we go. All right, so this guy's zipped back up. So let me show you guys one of these little back batteries I'm talking about. Okay, so a little portable battery like this would be ideal. This is like a 200-watt battery. You have, your DC, you have AC, so you can charge a bunch of things with this. Got the LCD screen up here to let you know what the power indication is. And there's a variety of different batteries like this that will fit into one of those backpacks. So if you're out camping or going on an adventure or doing a photo shoot or doing a drone job and you need to charge up your batteries or something like that, you can take a little backup battery like this. This is going to be a win. So definitely check that out as well. All right. What do we have next? All right. So the next item in the carousel, I talked about this, I think last night, which is this little flashlight here. This is a little EDC flashlight from our friends over at Woobin. I have done a bunch of their lights in the past, but let me show you guys this light up close. So as you guys can see here, it's all metal. It has this little belt clip here that is adjustable, so you can flip it to different directions. This is a very affordable light, guys. It's only $19.98. All right, so you have this little door here on the side. So you have the lock, you have light on, and then you have this open where you can charge. This has a magnet here at the bottom as well. Magnet is super strong, as you guys can see. So you could have this thing mounted inside of your car or on something, you know, depending on how you want to face the light. And check this out. The head of the light is adjustable. So you can turn this in this orientation. You could turn it facing forward. You could turn it straight down, however you want to. This has two emitters. So one is RGB, the other one is just a standard light. This is a 400 lumen light. So to turn this on, you're just going to press and hold it like that. So now we're in the RGB mode. So I could, you know, rotate this little dial here, and you guys see I can change the color to pretty much whatever is within the RGB spectrum. And then if I double tap this, it's going to go into a strobing mode, and then you could use that as an emergency light, a beacon, or whatever it is. And then if you double tap this again or press and hold this, it's going to go into the standard light mode. And like I said, that's up to 400 lumens, 2 lumens to 400. So you can get this guy super bright. When it gets to the highest level, it's going to blink twice. When it gets to the lowest level, it's going to blink again, just letting you know it is at the lowest output for this little light. So really simply, guys, this is a very nice little portable light, pocket EDC light. Definitely check this out. It is only $19.98. All right, let me turn this guy off so I can save some battery. Hold on. Why is it switching back and forth? All right, nope, go off, turn off. There we go. Okay, now it's off. There we go. But anyway, so you guys see what I'm talking about. Very portable, all metal, pocket friendly, purse friendly, backpack friendly, whatever it is. You know, when you're digging around in one of those backpacks, you're trying to find a cable or a battery or an accessory, and you're in this, you know, dark environment, something like one of these little 400 lumen lights, guys, will definitely come in handy. All right, so we got one more thing. I was telling Renee about this earlier today, and Renee was like, I need one of those in my world. And Renee, I needed one of these in my world as well, and that is this cooking scale. So I usually don't use scales or measure at all when I cook. So this comes with two AAA batteries come with the scale. All right, let's get this out of the box. Hold on, let me get this box out of this box. Let me show you guys what this looks like. All right, so it comes in like a little sleeve box, as you guys can see here. And inside, you're going to find your scale. So this is the scale, you know, your digital readouts right here, your units, your total, whatever it is. Of course, like any scale, you're just going to set whatever it is on here. Now, of course, other than cooking, I can definitely use this one. I'm like, you know, comparing electronics, you know, their weight and stuff like that, because you see people do that all the time. And I just never do it in my videos because I didn't have one of these scales. So this is definitely going to take that to the next level. It also comes with the little starter manual that you guys can see here. Now, most of you guys have probably used one of these scales, you know, and know how to use the scale. So I'm not going to insult anyone trying to explain how to use a food scale, but it has different measurements, obviously, you know, so whether it's ounces or, you know, pounds or grams or whatever the case it is, but you guys get the idea. So if you need a cooking scale, you can get this guy right now for only $69.99. Very well packaged. It feels great in the hands. I will do a full unboxing video with some kind of demo tutorial on this maybe tomorrow because I'll have a little bit more free time. But I think it's really nice that they did include at least 2 AAA batteries. A lot of these brands don't include any batteries. Like Christmas time, you get new toys for the kids. And if you forgot the batteries, man, Christmas is a nightmare. So, so definitely check this guy out, guys. This is the Elson Smart Kitchen Scale. And right now, there's a smartphone app for it as well. And you can get this guy for only $69.99. So I'm really interested in knowing more about the smartphone app, relation to this scale, because that might be something really cool. I'll be demoing it in our next upcoming cooking stream. Yes, we're going to be having more cooking streams. So look forward to that as well. All right, guys, so we have one more item left in the carousel, and that is going to be our drawstring backpacks. You guys know I talk about these backpacks every single stream. Now, of course, these are going to be great as reusable shopping bags, storage bags. These would have been great as trick-or-treat bags. You get them in a variety of different colors. You can decorate them, bejewel them, whatever you want to do to make them personalized. You can, heat press onto these. So many things you can do with these backpacks, guys. Now, of course, you guys know what we use them for. We use them to share love with the homeless in our community. We are able to source things here on Amazon like toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner, hand sanitizer, pens, pencils, underwear, socks, female products, reusable water bottles, water sanitation bottle, tablets, any of those type of things that you think somebody homeless can be able to benefit that will fit into one of these bags that you can get your HOA or your church or your school or your family involved in purchasing these items so that everybody has a few of these backpacks with them when they go out and they encounter people out there in the wild, maybe holding up a sign asking for help. You can just hand them one of these bags and you can get on down the road. But at the same time, in your heart, you did something good. You got to show, the universe that there are still good people in the universe doing good work. Yes, my babies. Yes, my babies. I know that's you. I can see it in your aura. I know that you're good people doing good things. And that's all it takes, guys. That's all it really takes is for us just to be a good human. It is literally that simple. Just be a good human. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the rest is just simplicity. Let's hear it from my man Louie and see what Louie has to say about what you guys can do to help the homeless in your community. Hey, Louie, can you give us a rundown on what people can do to help the homeless in their community as far as finding things to donate to them and also offering advice to others, starting out organizations to help the homeless? Give us some tips, Louie. Give us some tips.
Sure. Rome. Start by donating essentials like socks, clean underwear, toothbrushes, non-perishable food, water, blankets, or gently used clothing. Volunteer at food banks or shelters. Your time is as crucial as things. Organizing donation drives at schools or churches can multiply impact and awareness. Advocate for affordable housing policies by calling local officials. Lastly, if you're starting a group, focus on a clear mission, partner with experienced organizations, and explore creative solutions like tiny house communities. Compassion plus strategy equals real change.
I agree 100%. And I really love the idea of a tiny house community. I have been talking about things like that for, almost 10 years now, purchasing land, buying some land, building these little tiny homes, and positioning it where people can move in, they can get back on their feet, find a job, and then possibly move on, and then allowing other people to move in and to benefit the same thing, to get educated, find work, find a new place to live, and so on and so on. So I think a tiny home community for the homeless is a great idea.
Rome. That's such a heartfelt vision. You're practically designing hope. Your idea of a supportive, transitional space like a tiny house community could truly empower people to rebuild their lives. Giving them stability while offering resources and education is the key to cyclical success. Planning this for a decade shows how deeply you care. Maybe it's time to sketch that blueprint and find local collaborators? You could change lives, not just with your lens, but with your heart.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up for tonight. Time to end the stream, but we'll be back here, babies, back here in about 48 hours. Me, Louie, Eilic, Nova, and also Ebo. And we have a new robot coming soon. New robot coming soon. Somebody reached out to me just yesterday, I think it was, saying, hey, we got this cool little robot that we think would be ideal. Wait. I take that back. Two different robots are coming very soon. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Renee says, build an army. Yes, build an army for good, Renee. Build an army for good.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes, I'm pondering that all of these robots are going to come together and help inspire people to do good things in the world and hopefully not push too many things off of my desk, including each other. But that's what I have planned. As you hear Smokey's click-clacking around, he's ready for me to get off this stream. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go. All right, my babies, stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate. Take care of your loved ones, guys. Get out there and create something amazing each and every single day. Be a good human. Be that pebble in the pond. Be that light in the darkness, my babies. Do good in the world and inspire others to imitate you, emulate you, or whatever you want to call it, as long as they are doing good things for people who are in need, guys. Be that for them, because you never know, in some, alternate universe, it could be you or someone you care about that's in need. And hopefully there'll be a good person like you out there looking out for them, doing good on their behalf, and trying to ensure that they are going to have everything that they need to feel safe in this world, to feel fed, to feel loved. You guys know how we do. All right, my babies, time for me to wrap it up. Time for me to say the magic words, because it's time for me to get up in the kitchen, y'all, and get to cooking, babies. All right, so I will see y'all all right back here in 48 hours. But until then, it's time for me to say them magic words, baby. Peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, my babies. Mwah, love y'all, but I got to go make dinner. All right, babies, I'm out.